Welcome to Eat More Football, the show that satisfies your craving for hot takes. This week, we will be having a few segments. We'll be talking about those crazy Cornhuskers on Big Noon Kickoff. We'll be having a guest appearance today, and we'll be doing some Week 4 predictions. And now let's head to This Week in Sports.
All right, This Week in Sports, those crazy Husker fans, as Noah said, chanting, quote, "We want Urban" on Fox Big Noon Kickoff. Man, from a Jaguars fan, what are you talking about, guys? Come on. You don't know what you're talking about. I guess they're just desperate for wins. Yeah, trust me, you don't want Urban.
You don't want Urban.
Yeah, they're desperate for wins. But hey, it is what it is. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Any thoughts?
I think it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, especially all that came out, like what he's been doing as a coach. Like, I don't know. I don't know if he can get hired ever again to coach a big name school.
Think again. It might happen. Who knows?
It's true.
It is a shame. I've heard many people say that the Cornhusker fans are some of the best fans in the country. And I don't disagree with that, but they've always talked about them being the best fans, the most loyal fans. They have never said they're the smartest fans. So that might be the problem. Maybe they're so loyal, they're not smart enough to switch teams. And maybe they're so loyal, they're not smart enough to know who their head coach should be. But that being said, if you just want wins, go with Urban Meyer. Go with him. See how that works out for you. He'll be gone in a few years, maybe get you back on track, and then maybe put the program back a couple of years after that. So I don't know. I think from wins and losses, yes, it's a no-brainer. Personally, I believe from the other point of view, I wouldn't hire the guy.
Thinking with their hearts, not their heads. Rumor has it that I'm not sure how credible this rumor is. Craig told me this, but there is rumor that Urban has been interviewed. Now, Craig, I'm not sure if you're just teasing me over here, but
hold on, I'm getting some updated information. It is confirmed. Urban Meyer has interviewed. No,
wow.
Just joking. I'm not sure. I think I saw it on Twitter though. So if anything's on the internet, that means it's true. So it's got to be true, right?
Oh, of course, it's got to be.
Yep.
Jordan Travis, QB for FSU, got injured. I don't know when that was in the game. I can't remember, but that is
second quarter maybe.
That is a huge loss for
quarter.
FSU. We haven't received a timeline on that yet from Mike Norvell. I think everyone is really eagerly awaiting that. Even from a Florida fan's perspective, I'm, really concerned for the kid because he's a great quarterback. We'll talk about that later on our week 3 recap. But he's a great quarterback. He really showed out in the game. Really sorry that he went down. But we'll be awaiting a timeline on that injury. And with that, we must head to Week 3 recap. First game, FSU Louisville. This is on my list. Jordan Travis, that man looked spectacular. I think both QBs looked really great in that game. But it was such an undisciplined game from both teams. There were so many penalties, and there was that stint with back-to-back turnovers on drives, which is just stupid and ridiculous and undisciplined. It made it very hard to watch, honestly. But it was a really great game. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, go ahead. No.
Okay. You guys talked about Jordan Travis earlier. I think Malik Cunningham is a little underrated. I mean, I've said it before. He kind of is Walmart brand Lamar Jackson, but hey, Walmart brand stuff still tastes good, and Malik Cunningham is still a good quarterback. He was slicing and dicing. He was just juking people out, even though they didn't win the game. I'm still very impressed by Malik Cunningham.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not so sure he's Walmart brand. I think he may be Publix brand, where shopping is a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Sure is a pleasure with Malik Cunningham.
Honestly, I think it was you, T-Bone, early in the UCF game. You're like, Malik's going to go crazy and all that. And I'm like, Louisville's not very good. I don't see it. After watching the kid 2 weeks in a row, this kid is a ball player. He doesn't have all the things around him that some quarterbacks do. But my goodness, that kid can stop on a dime and make people miss and basically put the team on his back and make them competitive. Because without him at quarterback, I don't think they're even close to being competitive in that game. And on the other side, I got to give a shout out to Tate, the quarterback for Florida State, who came in. Not impressed when he first came in, but that kid, he's a sophomore, weathered the storm. And really, I think he put together 3 75-yard drives in that game in the second half and really settled in. So not a good spot to be in as a backup quarterback on the road. And to be able to pull out a good conference win, I think was hats off to Tate Rodemaker, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, but phenomenal. And ACC football is pretty painful to watch. I will say that. It's very sloppy and it can be extremely ugly.
Not Andrew Tate. Tate Wanamaker.
Oh gosh.
Not Andrew Tate. Moving on.
Urban Meyer is the Andrew Tate of college football.
Oh, that's a hot take. Actually, it's not a hot take. That's kind of an accurate take.
That's just a take.
Yeah. Georgia rolling after 48-7 win over South Carolina. I'm just depressed by this. I mean, the whole SEC should be frightened. We should be shaking in our boots over here because that Georgia team looks absurdly phenomenal. I mean, they are, I think, I don't have the stat up right now, but before the South Carolina game, I saw that they were averaging holding opponents to 1.5 points. It was 1.5 before the South Carolina game.
Wow.
And that's like, what the heck? That's not even a field goal. That's not even a safety. Like, what the heck? That's just, it's not fair. I can be petty all I want, but man,
that's Division III football. In Division III football, there's such a big split. You'll see like Mount Union just beat people 100-0. Georgia is making that happen on the Power 5 level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, last year they were like, we had the best defense and one of the best defenses in college football history. And then everyone left. It's like, now we're going to have one of the best offenses in the SEC. It's like a trade-off that nobody asked for.
Well, and even still, like, everyone said, oh, you know, they're going to lose a lot of their defensive starters. They totally put them back in. I mean, they found a way to mix and gel right from the get-go. I mean, it's just insanity. Kirby Smart, he's doing a great job there. I'm sure our guest, who will be previewed later, will be very glad to hear that information coming from us.
Yeah. The guy that I've been impressed with is Brock Bauer. My goodness gracious. They schemed him up. They ran a nice little route right down the middle of the field, throwing the ball over the top. And he made a guy miss and then went, I don't know, 50, 60 yards. He had he also had a rushing touchdown, 2 touchdowns through the air, and 121 yards receiving. Guy's a beast.
Definitely.
Yeah, I remember I said on one of the first shows that we did, he's the next Kyle Pitts. I think he's better than Kyle Pitts.
I think so too.
like it's really insane. I mean, even though it is Georgia, like it's cool to see a team like compete that much and just destroy people. I'm sure it won't be cool come mid-season and end of the season, but for right now, it's pretty impressive. So I'm gonna stick with it. Next, Notre Dame struggles continue after their 24-17.
17.
Yeah, that's against the Cal Bears, right? Golden Bears.
Struggle win.
In the words of Funny Maine, struggle win. Survives a scare at home against Cal. It's Notre Dame. They got to pick it up. 1-2 on the season. That was Marcus Freeman's first win as an Irishman head coach.
Congrats to Coach Freeman, but I'm sure Brian Kelly is laughing in Baton Rouge today.
I'm sure he is. Let's see. Kansas, 3-0 on the season. That is unheard of as of late. Yes,
those Jayhawks, baby.
Jayhawks.
I don't even know if Jayhawks fly, but they're flying right now.
Probably. And Houston was not a bad team. I mean, they really played well. So what was the score of that? 48 to. Well, let's stop there. Kansas scored 48 points on somebody. I mean, come on, guys. A little golf clap for you guys. Come on. Come on, good job, Kansas. We haven't had much Kansas hate on the show. Kansas has escaped thus far. But let's say they lose all their games, then we're going to be hating on them.
They will not lose the rest of their games. They will not lose all of them. That's a good football team. That
They're going to go
quarterback's
undefeated.
good.
They're going to go undefeated, win the national championship, confirmed.
No, they'll lose to Alabama in the final. But, hey, Jalen Daniels is a great quarterback. And I said it last week about Kansas. Well, they had a delay, right, to start the game? And somebody said it was hail.
Hail delay.
Yeah.
Hail delay.
They beat the hail out of Houston, evidently. So it was a good game. But Kansas is on a roll, man, doing a great job.
Definitely.
Yep. 48-30 was the final score of that one. BYU versus Oregon. I know. Come on, guys. It's my second take of the week. What'd I say? Overrated. Yep, still clapping on different time zones. Yeah, I mean, BYU just got creamed. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. Bo Nix had himself a game, 5 touchdowns. There we go.
Bo Nix, his like one good game a year when he plays like Johnny Manziel and then like stinks the rest of the season.
Hey, no Bo Nix hate on this show.
No Bo Nix hate.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Let's save.
I'm sure he's a great person.
Yeah, we'll save that for later. Hey, speaking of, I wasn't planning on this. Vanderbilt. We were talking during the game how the Vanderbilt hate's going to come back because they were losing. They came back. 2 touchdowns. They scored 2 touchdowns. Came right back against Northern Illinois.
Hey, is anybody on the show? Is anybody taking Vandy for a bowl? 3 wins already. Anybody? Yeah.
I'm taking Vandy for a bowl.
Yeah. You think?
How about that?
I can't say that I'd do that. I've already got my money on Kansas, so I can't go with that.
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't go that far, but hey, I mean, depending on, I don't know how their schedule looks the rest of the season, but if they play a couple more cupcakes, then they might be able to get to 6 or 7 wins. Not 7. I think 6 is probably their ceiling, but
okay, they might not make a bowl game looking at their schedule.
Nope, you already said it. We got it on camera. Sorry.
That's true. The only winnable games they have next are Missouri and South Carolina. They play Alabama next, which I'm sure they'll get destroyed.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna happen.
I said what I said. Vandy bowl game.
We'll play this back in November for you.
Yeah, seriously. I think that is all for the week 3 recap. We are looking forward to week 4, but before that, and before our guest comes on to be announced, we'll move on to winner, chicken dinner.
All right, here we are into our next segment of the show, winner, chicken dinner. I'm going to start. My winner, chicken dinner is obviously clearly biased. I'm going to go with Will Anderson. I know it was Louisiana Monroe, but he had 5 tackles, a sack, and did you guys see that pick 6 he had?
No,
that was not a game that I cared to watch.
You got to pull that up, like on the screen, any of these directions, anywhere. But man, he caught the ball in the air, ran stiff armed their quarterback, and like ran into the end zone. It was beautiful. It was the best thing I saw all day.
Heisman
Will
winner?
Anderson should be the Heisman winner, but probably won't be.
We shall see.
All right, my winner, chicken dinner. He's gotten some hate on this show. He already got a little bit of hate earlier, and I think Natty, you got to get over the fact he doesn't play for Auburn anymore. All right, so it's okay. You can like him. He's okay. Bo Nix. All right, Bo Nix, winner, chicken dinner. So we all saw his game against Georgia. Most everybody's game against Georgia, right? So we got to watch that one. Well, this week he was, I think, T-Bone, you said 5, counted for 5 touchdowns. So he had 3 on the ground, believe it or not, rushed for 35 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then 2 touchdowns through the air, 13 of 18, 222 yards. Quarterback rating was, I believe, 90.8 for this week. Wow. They were up 24-7 on the number 12 team, believe it or not, BYU, if you think they're overrated, whatever, but they were number 12 at the time. All right. And they were 38-7 after 3 quarters. So he clearly led his team to a decisive victory against a top 15 opponent. And I think Bo's on a track to start playing well. Nobody probably saw his game against Eastern Washington. 28 of 33, 277 yards, and 5 touchdowns with no interceptions. Now, it's Eastern Washington, yes.
Very good.
I think Bo's back on track, and he showed that against the BYU Fighting Cougars in a big win in a top 15 matchup.
Or the fighting Mormons, as I like to call them.
There you go.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. My winner chicken dinner. I've kind of already alluded to it in today's show. By the way, Craig, great winner chicken dinner. That was one of my top picks for this week. But mine, both the QBs in the FSU Louisville game, both of them played great. It was like battle of the QBs on mediocre teams. It was just fantastic QB play. It was like watching a manual or something. Jordan Travis, 13 for 17, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. But, people make mistakes. Malik Cunningham, 21 for 34, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And on top of that, Malik Cunningham ran 17 carries, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So more on the Malik Cunningham side for winner chicken dinner, but Jordan Travis, left the game with injury. So I guarantee you if he would have stayed in, he would have had bucketed on the stats. But it was a great matchup for QBs too, because Jordan Travis isn't necessarily as fast with his legs as Malik Cunningham. But he sure can throw that ball. I mean, both of them had really phenomenal stats. I think I might have said 21 for 24. It's 21 for 34 for Malik Cunningham. I'm now seeing, because I guess I need new glasses, as stated in episode 4. But
Good.
Yeah, still great. I mean, phenomenal QB play. Speaking of great QB play, as we speak right now, Trevor Lawrence is 23 for 27 with 227 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's phenomenal. We'll touch on that maybe later in the show.
And he just threw a touchdown.
And which I'm not watching the game. I should have brought the TV in here.
I got it right here.
And the GOAT is currently being shut out, Tom Brady, by the Saints.
That's what I say to that. 24-0. This game's over, guys. Come on. Unless our defense gives up. I don't want to say it's over, but we're in the 4th quarter now almost. So
this is why Jacksonville fans can't have nice things, because you guys are so cocky when you win.
Thank you very much.
We get to be cocky 3 times a year. Give us something, please.
Yeah, come on. You got to cut us some slack. Hey, I just need something from yesterday. We won't dive into it too much. We should have done this on the week 3 recap, but I didn't want to touch on it. But I'll touch on it now. 31-28. Florida almost lost to USF.
Oof.
I don't know what happened. Don't talk to me. Do not message me for right now. Message me next week. Just wait. Be patient. I don't want to read the stats. Anthony Richardson threw 2 more interceptions. Not looking good. Our offense really did look improved from the Kentucky game. Defense just looked exhausted, like garbage. Granted, the USF quarterback did get offered to play at Alabama.
Didn't he play at Baylor last year?
He did. He led Baylor to a Sugar Bowl win, which is fantastic.
He's a good player.
He really is a fantastic quarterback. Our defense just could not stop him, or the run for that matter, or the pass for that matter. Needless to say, our defense couldn't stop anything. I mean, there was
however, number 21, your guy. What's his name?
Which one? Montrell Johnson?
On defense.
No.
Mark Wilson.
Yes. No.
What's his name?
Devin Watson.
Yum, 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 yum.
The big boy. What was it? I think they said 400.
Oh, that dude.
425. I'm popping it up there. I know which direction to point.
Get a picture of him, because I saw him I was watching there on the goal line. He made a play, and I thought, what is number 21 doing on defensive line? And then his head's popping out of his helmet. I mean, that guy could literally eat probably a horse for dinner.
It is absolutely amazing. I mean, he's just such I don't really want to say physical specimen, but from a defensive standpoint, that man, I mean, he can move faster than people expect. And I'll put up the video. Damn. I mean, he body slams this guy to the ground.
Love it. Love it.
See the next Jordan Davis, just like 100 pounds extra.
Seriously. I'm not sure what year he is, but I don't know. We'll keep updated on that. So anyways, 24-0 Jags. Looking like a great game. Give us some slack on being cocky. I do want to take, we're not scheduled to do this on the show, but I do want to take some time to look at the AP poll, because I think we have a little bit of time before our guest is here. So let's take a look at that. Just give us a break and we will, cut back to that after we get the stats up. All right, just running through the AP top 25 real quick. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, Oklahoma, and USC all remain the same, 1 through 7. Kentucky moves up 1 to number 8. My goodness, they're climbing really fast. It's a little surprising, but I digress. Oklahoma State moves down 1 to number 9. Arkansas remains at 10 after almost losing. Boss Hog.
Watch out.
This week, no, sir. Not good. Almost lost to Bobby Petrino. His first return to Fayetteville, and they almost lost.
Did he drive in on a motorcycle?
He should.
With a neck brace?
Jeez. Tennessee moves up to number 11. Oh, gosh. That is not good.
Game day.
Watch out.
Game day is going to be in Knoxville. Yep.
Hey, all right. That's a good spot.
We're so screwed. This is not good. NC State moves up 4 to number 12. Utah moves up 1 to 14. Penn State goes up to number 14. Utah at 13. Penn State jumps all the way up to 14 after beating Auburn blowout in Jordan Hare. Oregon moves up to 15. Ole Miss at 16. Baylor 17. Washington 18. BYU 19. Florida moves down to 20. Acceptable. Number 21, Wake Forest. They almost got beat by Liberty. Texas moves down 1 to 22. They were in a tough fight with Texas Tech. A&M moves up 1 to 23 after beating Miami. Pitt at number 24. Miami moves down 12 after getting beat by A&M, obviously. But it was only by like a touchdown. So I'm not entirely sure why they moved them all the way down there. But coach's poll is pretty similar. Nothing new there. Yeah. The coach's poll actually has Washington lower, number 24 rather than 18, which I like that a little better because Washington was stinky last year. I mean, they were just terrible. And the year before that, COVID year. So, all right. It is now time at long last to reveal our special guest for this week's episode of EMF. I'll turn it over to Craig and he will introduce him.
So we're excited today to have a new guest on our show. His name is Lonnie Tidmarsh, and he is a huge, huge Georgia fan. So just to show you that we're not completely biased, not me, these guys biased with the Alabama and Florida stuff. We want to have somebody on that is a fan of the number one team in the nation. And he certainly is that. In fact, we've got a video of him from last year and his reaction after Georgia won the national championship that will pop up on the screen for you just to show how absolutely insane he is. But Lonnie is here in Lake Helen, Florida, Central Florida, played high school baseball with me. He went on to have a great career at Stetson, playing baseball there as well. And now he's an educator. So he's constantly educating people, not only the youth of today and the things of what real educators should be teaching students, but he's also educating them about the Georgia Bulldogs daily. Sure. So we're excited to have Lonnie on the show. All right. Lonnie, thanks so much for joining us on the show. I see that you are definitely have your national championship colors on today. Commit to the G, go Georgia, right?
That's right. And thanks for having me. I like to call us world champions, but national champions will do.
No confidence there whatsoever. All right. So first question, how long have you been a dog fan and how did you become one?
So I've been a dog fan for about 15 years. I remember back in 2007, it was my first UGA versus UF game in Jacksonville. I was sitting right on the division line of the Georgia and UF, and just the culture. It was Stafford, Moreno. Just fell in love with the dogs. And
nice. It's been nothing but up from that point, probably at this point.
Well, that was 2007 was one of the rare Tebow years that Georgia won. It was a good game, and then it was some rough years after that in Jacksonville.
No doubt. All right, so speed round real quick. Who's your favorite all-time UGA player?
Has to be Nick Chubb. Stats, work ethic, loyalty, and in the NIL/transfer portal years, it's good for him coming back his senior year after a tough injury and staying with the dogs.
Nice.
So, fact here, small fun fact: TJ went to the Tennessee-Kentucky game Florida, Kentucky. Thank you. Sorry.
I think we all hate Tennessee here. We all hate Tennessee here. Okay. Hey, we need to find common ground. At least
that was a slip. Sorry. Didn't mean to say that bad word of Tennessee. Well, Florida, Kentucky, right? And you saw Nick Chubb, right? He was at the game.
I did not see Nick Chubb, but yeah, there was some guy in a Nick Chubb jersey at the Florida game. So that was a little strange. It was a little off-putting.
And it was a Georgia jersey, right?
It was a Nick Chubb. Yes, Nick Chubb Georgia jersey.
So obviously the Florida fans aren't tough enough to beat up someone like that goes their home stadium in Georgia gear. So I bet if someone wore a Tebow jersey in Athens, they wouldn't make it out alive.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
All right. Not. What is your favorite UGA game that you've attended?
So I was fortunate enough to go to the 2018 Rose Bowl in Pasadena, right above the UGA tunnel. Amazing game, double overtime. Almost missed my flight. Best game I've ever been to. Probably the best game I'll ever go to.
Nice. And that was against Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did that game after that Rose Bowl turn out for Georgia?
Well,
no, here we go.
It was a rough game. You know what happened? We had two starters injured.
We had two starters injured.
Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
There you go.
Can't say anything to it.
I think what I'm slowly starting to piece together is Lonnie is the missing piece of these games. He went in 2007, they beat Florida with Tebow, and he went to the Rose Bowl and they won that game. So
yeah, absolutely. I keep telling my wife that too.
And I can't even trash talk because we stink right now. It's so I can laugh at anyone I want and no one can say anything back. It's amazing.
All right, what's your most memorable UGA play?
Again, Rose Bowl. Double overtime, Sony Michel with the Wildcat. And I'm not a big Wildcat fan at all, but it worked out, 27-yard prance into the end zone. It was awesome. Everybody went nuts. Crazy.
Nice. All right. Best food in Athens.
Has to be, and it goes to tradition, has to be the Varsity. The Varsity is the go-to place after games. Now, since then, the Varsity is no longer, but it was the place to go. And some of my best memories, Georgia Tech, were at the Varsity for sure.
What's your go-to meal there? What was it?
I mean, I don't mean to sound like a cake boy, but they had some really great onion rings and their burgers and hot dogs. Pretty much got one of everything on the menu. And of course, their orange drink is what they call it. Awesome.
Nice. Fun fact. I worked right across the street from the Varsity. I did not work at a fast food restaurant at that point in my life. I was at Georgia Tech, but I had only gone to the Varsity one time. And people think I'm crazy, but they yelled at me when I went in there. What do you have? What do you have?
Yep, that's it.
So that's a classic. That's for sure. All right. Any game day superstitions or rituals?
I mean, yes, I wear the same shirt, wear the same hat for the season. I typically update it every year. That's why and for you guys, I wore my game day shirt game
Nice.
day hat for this year.
Yeah.
If you can't read that, national champs. And I know this is kind of weird, but I always do a morning run on game day. I feel like I'm limbering up, loosening up for the big game, trying to push the boys on. And then, of course, I watch a game in total by myself, nobody around, no friends. I can't handle anybody with me.
Yeah, that's what my dad does, or he tries to at least.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you got to get loose for the game. Does that mean you're like throwing stuff when the game doesn't go your way so you don't pull a muscle? Or?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of things being thrown. Not this year so far, but typically a lot of things being thrown, including jerseys, hats, you name it. Feel like Will Muschamp on the sidelines.
You've probably been turning them off at halftime this year. They've been such snooze fests.
Yeah.
All right. This is one of our big questions here, and I want you to get into it. So the team that you hate the most and why?
I mean, without a doubt, the University of Florida. Sorry, TJ. And I'll be honest, and this is actually a compliment because of Tim Tebow. I mean, the Tebow years were tough years for the University of Georgia. And honestly, living in Central Florida, and 99% of my friends being Florida fans, as soon as Georgia goes down against any team, whether it be Alabama in the national championship or, Oklahoma, it's like, hey, here come the texts. I have to put my phone on silent. They love to give me the trash talk. So I think part of it is just me actually living in Central Florida and everybody surrounding me, including my friends and some of my best friends there, Coach C, being Florida fans.
Yeah, and I just popped into my head one of your favorite, whatever you call those, GIF, whatever it is. I'm 40, so I don't know the proper language, but the one of Dan Mullen on the sideline bebopping with I know TJ's probably seen this one. He's dancing to the music like this.
I haven't seen that one. We'll put it up there.
For so long, I heard about Dan Mullen being the quarterback whisperer and bringing Florida back to the national championship realm. So I occasionally like to play that goofball GIF, if you will, to some of my friends.
See, Lonnie works with young people. He's more hip than I am. He knows the proper. Well, I think Dan Mullen's doing a great job as a commentator, a lot better than he did at recruiting. So
I agree. I actually like him on the ESPN halftime reports. He's not like talking as fast as humanly possible. So it's like, good job.
There's something going on with his hair this week, bro. I don't know what.
He's such a nerd.
Good job, Dan the man.
All right.
Dan Mullen, he is such a nerd. Gosh.
I would have to agree with that. All right. So follow up to that one. All right. So however many years in the future, because you have some younger children in your own house. All right. So one of them comes up to you and says, Daddy, you know what? I really want to go to school at the University of Florida. What would your reaction to that be?
Oh man. I mean, honestly, it'd be devastating. And truth be told, I can't even envision that because we have such a culture in our household for non-UF everything. But to be honest, I probably would be supportive, depending on what the rationale is and what the opportunities are. UF is a wonderful school. I just wouldn't be able to back the old Gators up in the football, especially when they're playing UGA. And I certainly wouldn't go to any games.
So as long as they said, I want to go there for their medical program, but I could care less about football, you'd be like, I think, okay. But you got to get a full scholarship because I ain't paying.
Exactly. And I went to college at Stetson, so I'm okay with them, going somewhere else. That's fine.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for your honesty there. All right, so this is your opportunity to really tell us about Georgia football current state. What are your thoughts on the season so far and the remainder of the schedule? And then which team are you worried the most about in the regular season?
Well, I'm excited. I think I'll go on both sides of the ball here. What I'm most excited about is their defense. I think and you guys correct me if I'm wrong here, I think that we're kind of living in an offensive-minded, college game right now. And what I think has been proven over the last couple of years is that offense is important. And I guess this may come from the LSU national championship where we have this new mindset. But to me, defense still wins ball games. I mean, last year you look at Ohio State, best offense statistically in the nation. They don't make the playoffs. You look at Bama. Bama whooped us in the SEC championship. Have great skilled players on offense. Great skilled players on offense. The problem is skilled players often get hurt, right? Because a little bit undersized, a little bit smaller, and
Don't I know?
And I just think that we've lost, or college football has lost a little bit in the importance of a strong elite defense. Now, I'm not saying you can't have to win a national championship, you have to have a great offense. I mean, there's no question about it. But I think it's fair to say you also have to have a great defense. And so I'm really excited about UGA's defense. Gave up 3 points against Oregon, which over the last couple of weeks we've seen Oregon's pretty good ball club. And then yesterday in South Carolina, they only give up, or I'm sorry, whenever this is recorded, but Saturday in South Carolina, only giving up 7 points, late points. So really excited about the defensive side of the ball. On offense, I'm pleased so far with what we've been doing in the red zone. A lot of people don't know that last year, Georgia did not do very well in the red zone. I think they were like somewhere in the 60th as far as college programs in the red zone. Stetson's done a great job. First at Oregon, not so good game 2, but yesterday did pretty well in the red zone, putting up points. So really excited about that. Our tight end room is ridiculous between Bowers. You've got Eric Gilbert. Hopefully he'll be back soon. Darnell Washington, Oscar Delp, true freshman, got his first touchdown yesterday. So super excited about our tight end room and what that's going to do in the red zone. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I think the team I'm most nervous about is Kentucky at Kroger. It's in November, mid-November, so it's going to be cold up there. A little nervous about Tennessee, although that's in Athens. So, that crowd, especially with the big SEC game, will be pumping for UGA. And then, of course, Bama, hopefully in the SEC championship. Bryce Young, we can all say that he's definitely an elite quarterback, no doubt. Hopefully his skilled players won't be injured. But I'm excited about that road to the SEC championship too.
The one game you forgot is the Mississippi State game.
Yeah. Here's the deal, man. If you would have asked me that prior to yesterday, Mississippi State to me did not look, they were average at best. Now, Mike Leach he makes me a little nervous sometimes just because he's so unconventional and, he always has some tricks up his sleeves. But again, I go back to, I feel like if we lose to a team like Mississippi State, then we probably don't belong in the national championship talk.
Yeah, I think you're spot on talking about the defense. That defense is unbelievable. And I personally will say I went on one of our first shows and said I thought Georgia was ranked preseason properly at number 3, but that they were going to take a step back this year just in terms of their team. And they may be better than they were last year as a team.
Yeah. Well, and last year, yeah. And last year, they had 15 people drafted, all those defensive guys, first round. And of course they've got Jalen Carter this year, which to me will probably be a top 10 pick, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, it's kind of a role play type defense. Kirby, switches them out and subs them in relatively quickly, often. So, you're not going to get the stats that you might see at other programs, but they're always fresh, they're always ready to go, and they got a lot of depth. It creates a lot of depth on their team for sure.
Awesome. Great analysis. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Last couple of questions here. And we thank you for your time. Why the beard? Because it looks great. But I think Natty made a comment about it. I mean, we're all just like that's a man's beard, right?
We're in awe.
Beard.
We're in awe.
I don't think TJ or myself included, I don't think any of us, I know they couldn't, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't grow something that magnificent. So why?
Well, it's funny. My wife is actually a hairstylist, and about 28, 29, I started going a little thin up top, and I was like, man, I'm jealous of all these wonderful flowing locking hair of all these friends of mine. Like, Craig, yours looks amazing. So my wife's like, hey, why don't you just try and grow a beard, And so I did. Plugged to Rusty Razor in DeLand, started going to them, and they shaped it up right, got me on some product, and now it's almost become my brand, if you will. I'm a principal at an elementary school, so we have kids that say fear the beard, bearded principals, and now I wouldn't know what to do without them.
Yep.
Nice.
And thank you for all you do in shaping the lives of all the young boys and girls at that school. Just a shout out to Lonnie. Every single time someone talks to me about Lonnie Tidmarsh, the principal, they say everybody loves working for this guy. He's doing a phenomenal job.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I know you're shaping a lot of theirs life. And go follow him on Twitter because he's always got some funny stuff. What's your handle on Twitter?
It's VCS_Lonnie, LONNIE. And I also just got an Instagram. It's the same thing, VCS_Lonnie, LONNIE.
Nice. So you may pick up one or two more followers after this.
Hey, and funny story for you, TJ. We do an Avid kind of shout out every week where we focus on a college for college career readiness, and last Monday, we actually focused on the University of Kentucky. And I'd like to add that a bunch of my teachers are UF fans. So that's why we did that spotlight on UK. Just felt right. Good timing.
That's phenomenal. You're shaping the lives of young people like you shaped that beard.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Go ahead, TJ. Do you have something else?
No. Are we on to the last question?
Last question. Yes, sir.
Nice.
So, all right. Show us, because I know you're going to get excited, whether it's the national championship game, SEC championship game. I know you're a dancer.
Yeah.
Show us the dance that you're going to do when Georgia wins that big game.
Ooh. Well, last year I did a Gatorade dunk. One of my buddies gave me a Gatorade dunk, and I did a backflip in the pool. But
we will show that.
I could take you outside, but my signature move and what I've been really working on is Shakira. The hips don't lie. So had a little crush on Shakira, back in the high school days, right? And so I don't know why Saturdays I play it after a big Georgia win, and it just really gets me going. So I'll give you a little preview. You can see this. Been practicing. This out of the way. So I don't have the song, but what I do here, let me see, like this, is I pop it this way. So pop, 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 all the way around. Then I hit the shoulder shimmy, and then I hit the little bit of the foot.
Oh.
I hope that this shows for mature audiences. That's my
not safe for children, not family friendly.
Yeah, there's an option on YouTube where I can say, "Is this made for kids?" And there's a yes and a no button. I think we have our answer.
You got it.
That's
I
great.
do it with a little bit more enthusiasm with the music going. My kids absolutely despise it, and that's why I do it even harder.
Well, Lonnie, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all your insight. It's been awesome having you on, and I'm sure we will get a lot more viewership now that you've been on the show.
Yes. And
all right, guys, I appreciate you, man. It's always a good time.
And before we go, we're going to do week 4 predictions. I have a list. You're going to just make spontaneous predictions. We're going to copy some ESPN guest picker stuff right here. Okay. Clemson versus Wake Forest. We'll just go start with Craig, then Noah, then you, Lonnie. And I'll be in the middle of there. So Clemson, Wake Forest. Craig, who you got? Start us off.
Ooh, that's a tough one because there's a lot of me that wants to say Wake Forest might be able to pull the upset because it's at home, right?
Yes, it is.
It's at Wake, but I just can't go against Clemson at this point. I think their defense will. They were kind of sleepwalking through last week. I think they'll be ready to go, and I think Wake's going to struggle. It'll be close though. I think Clemson.
I got Clemson too.
Yep, same. Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. So I got 2.
Nice. All right, TCU versus SMU. Typically, always a very good matchup. SMU, I think both teams have definitely taken a step back from where they were in the past couple of years. So, Craig will start us off.
Yeah, I feel like SMU played a pretty good ball game last week against Maryland. I thought they actually had a chance to win the football game, and I think Maryland's decent, so I'll go with SMU.
I'll go with TCU, Horned Frogs.
Nice. I'll probably go with TCU as well. Yeah.
I got SMU. Go Stangs.
Nice.
Sure.
Split down
Pony
the
up.
board. All right. Next, Florida versus Tennessee. CBS 3:30. That's the best time. We're going to hear that theme song. First SEC CBS matchup. It's going to be glorious. I mean, we all love that CBS theme song. Come on. All right. Florida, Tennessee. Craig.
Oh man, if Florida doesn't score 35, they're probably not going to win. But I'll go with it's probably going to be a Tennessee is going to be favored, I'm guessing, in Knoxville. So I'm going to go with Florida. I think they were looking ahead to this game this week, obviously, when they barely beat USF. So I think Florida's been ready for this game for 2 weeks now. I'm going to pick Florida in the upset. Go Gators.
All right. Give me Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Hold on now. Hold on. That's in the words of Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. Pull the Gator hat out. It's over there on the wall. That's right. Go Gators in Knoxville.
I absolutely have Tennessee in this game. In Knoxville, Anthony Richards. Come on, guys. Tennessee all the way, man.
I think it'll be I'm not going to say I think it's going to be close. I don't even know after this weekend. We'll talk later. Contact me when the game is over. All right, next, Arkansas A&M. Who you got?
I'm going to go – where's the game? Is it in Fayetteville?
No,
it's in Arlington, Texas.
Kyle Field.
Oh, it's in Arlington. Okay.
Yeah, it's neutral site every year.
Oh,
right?
really? Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah.
I told you I would not go against Boss Hog anymore on this show, so I've got to go with Boss Hog. Yes, sir. Lonnie knows that from the Georgia
days. Yes, every week we have to have the guest picker say yes, sir. No,
I'm a big Arkansas fan, but honestly, I think I'm going to go with Texas A&M with this one. I just think they're like overall more talented than they are. And Arkansas did not impress me at all last week.
Yeah, I think A&M, after losing to App State, I think they're going to get their act together. I think it'll be close, but, especially after Arkansas's close, narrow win against Missouri State, I think they better get their act together if they're going to win, but I have Texas A&M.
I'd love to turn that Duke box up for Mr. Sam Pittman, but I got A&M. I think I don't know if you guys have talked about Jimbo, man, but with all this stuff, number one recruiting class, all this, he better start pulling some wins and making some production on the field at the next level. And I think that I think we're going to see some of that here the last half of the season or last 2/3 of the season.
Nice. All right, last pick, Notre Dame versus North Carolina. This is hard. This is a hard one.
Ooh, oh my goodness. I got to go with Mac Brown, Notre Dame. This is, I don't even have many comments for it. It's not a good matchup. I'd go with the Tar Heels.
I think UNC is going to win because Notre Dame, I don't think they're going to be able to keep North Carolina under 30 points. So give me the Tar Heels.
Yep, I've got UNC as well. But what's that quarterback's name, Noah? You like him a lot. Yeah, it's Drake May. He's going to be the key to this North Carolina win. But North Carolina better get their defense into shape, because Notre Dame, they're always not right now because their QB is out. But still, North Carolina struggled on defense literally this whole season. So they better get together. But I got the Tar Heels.
I also got UNC. Man, Notre Dame, it's been just an awful, awful transition with the coaches and everything. I just think it gets worse at this point before it gets better. So I got UNC.
Nice. All right. Thank you so much, Lonnie, for being on here. We had a great time. Yeah. So what we look for, maybe we'll have you on as another guest later in the season.
Absolutely.
A returning guest star. But yeah, had a great time. And we will now move on to Tales from the Top 20.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Lonnie. See ya.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Tales from the Top 20, week 3, I believe it is, right? We're in week 3, going into week 4. Right. So it was a Vegas type of Saturday for the most part. Not a ton of major upsets, pretty bland schedule for the college football weekend. A lot of good games, but a little bit bland matchups. So we had some movement, though, in the top 20. For the week itself, Lindsay was 17-3, as well as yours truly, 17-3. So I get to toot my own horn for 1 second. And then we had a log jam at number 2. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people at 16-4. Noah, Ted, Dan, John, and Tammy, and Delane. So I think it was 6 total. Noah, Ted, Dan, John, Tammy, Delane at 16-4, which means all these are unofficial, but I believe member Tammy has vaulted her way up to number 1 by herself. And look at TJ's face.
What the heck? Okay, this is not right. Good.
Yes. So TJ's mother is now standing alone unofficially as number 1 with a 1-game lead over Lindsay, Russell, Steven, John, Candido, Delane, and Jake. Okay. Delane and Jake. So it has been a weird week. College football has taken some weird turns. All right. I just want to give a shout out to a few people, though, that made some pretty impressive picks. Darren, John, and Dan all picked Wyoming over Air Force. The only 3 that did it. Okay. And then we also had 3 people pick Kansas over Houston. I was one of those, thankfully. Go Jayhawks. We also had Caleb pick Kansas over Houston, and Jerry picked Kansas over Houston. So we had several people that picked big-time upsets. I won't talk about the people that made picks that were wrong, that were in the minority, but those games were the ones that were the big upsets that people ended up calling correctly. So good week on the top 20 again.
Man, I stink. I used to be kind of good at this type of stuff. I'm still coming for the dollar. Still coming. Where, Craig? Update me. Where am I this week?
Where are you this week?
What was my record? Because I didn't keep track.
All right. So Noah, we already mentioned him. TJ was 13-7.
Ooh,
13-7, which was one of the bottom. Yeah. We had a couple at 12-8, but 13-7 was the next mark. So.
Yep. Right now, the Jags are the only thing keeping me alive. Because I lost top 20. Florida stunk. Hey, but a win is a win. We're not going to discount that.
Yeah, you can't discount a win.
Maybe a little bit if it's USF.
Yeah, it's just harder to make the win feel better when it's a 3-point victory over USF, especially when the only reason why we won is because they shanked a field goal to send it into overtime. So, like,
at home.
Yeah, at home. We almost lost this game at home, and we lost last week's game at home. So, hey, we still haven't longest college football streak of not getting shut out at home. So I guess that means something. I don't know. All right. Anyways, thank you once again to our guest, Lonnie Tidmarsh, for coming into the show, giving his opinions on things. Finally, we actually have a variety of people coming onto the show. We're having hopefully a couple more guests in the future that are not Florida fans. We're trying to get a little less bias for the audience members here. But thank you to him for coming in. Once again, thank you for the top 20 for sponsoring this show. Is it monetary sponsorship? No, but it's sponsorship nonetheless. So thanks for watching this show. And we always have fun making it every single week. It's always something new. Great to get together and talk some college football stuff, some NFL stuff, sports in general. So yeah, send the questions in. We'll do what's cooking at some point later. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Eat More Football. God bless.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Eat More Football, and then send us any of your questions regarding the show or college football or any sport in general, and we'll answer it in our What's Cooking section at eatmorefb@gmail.com. That's Instagram and Twitter at Eat More Football, and then our email is eatmorefb@gmail.com. See you next time.